Welcome. My name is Nikki, and today I'm here to start the YouTube journey fully and to anchor here because it has been really difficult to anchor here. Anyways, I am somebody that transforms often, regularly, over and over. Probably like you, maybe you have been in the wrong rooms for a long time. Maybe you have been not realizing your potential because you have never been able to have the opportunity to step into that frame yet. They say when you speak on YouTube, you should speak to the person that you used to be. You should speak to the version of you that other people will resonate with because they have also walked that journey. And I find this concept very fascinating, but I also find the concept fascinating that you can quantum leap into a new version of you and help somebody just a few inches below that, that you might not have even met yet, that you might not have had the same life as. So they're not identical to you. They're just somebody that learned a concept that you already learned, took a course that you already took. They want to know what comes next, and you have accomplished something to now teach them. And when we are very precise with this, it's easier to find the people that we can help. My states have been shifting due to getting sick last week and also getting medical help, wondering, should I even get medical help? I felt more intuitive, clear, expanded, not on medication. But what I realized is life is not black and white. Not everything is going to be open and channeled and clear. Sometimes things get in the way of our ability to be 100% open, and sometimes we are not in safe environments to be 100% open. So I'm not here to talk about philosophy. I'm here to talk about business and how we can step into it, being the creators of the systems. So no, this does not mean screaming on Instagram and Threads, though people make life-changing content by using their voice, having strong hooks, putting themselves out there. That is something I deeply admire because I haven't felt safe to do that. But what I'm talking about is the evolution of using these tools, using AI as consciousness amplifiers for who we are becoming, not in an obsessive way, but in a way that it's just a normal part of our day. It's a normal part of our operating system. And we have these groups, we have these people that are so against the tools that they're fighting them. But if you look a little bit deeper at the pattern here, you're still fighting something. You're fighting a common enemy. You're fighting something to be seen and be heard. But when you are a founder, when you're an entrepreneur, you're not really performing or attacking. You are leading and guiding, sharing systems, links. You have protocols and boundaries. You have terms and agreements for when people enter your world. You are not sitting there playing. And as somebody that was the one that was sitting there playing for a very long time, just because I didn't feel seen and heard, and I wanted to feel good. So I knew in some capacity that when you make a small goal, it can turn into a big one. And that's exactly what fire spinning did for my life. I told myself an hour a day is all you need to succeed in something, to feel good, to get away from your reality. And I met incredible people. I met people that taught me so much about life and tapping into their flow and spiritual alignment and deeper lessons about the universe, really. But at the end of the day, the simple questions of like, can you pay your bills? How much money are you making? Um, what are your rhythms? Those questions were just kind of scattered. So part of my work is like figuring out why it takes people so long to move, myself included. It's almost like putting on a blazer. You have to go to a new environment, you have to go to a new room, you have to feel safe to talk. And then your brain, your subconscious, which controls most of your reality, will understand that, okay, we're taking different actions now. We're not looking at Instagram, we're not looking at Facebook, we're taking different actions now because this is our job. And when it's your job, it's your identity, it's your role, then there's really no argument. It's just a matter of time blocking your day. And once you start time blocking your day, something ridiculous happens. You realize how much time you're wasting, and those anchors of like light that you're sharing, while beautiful, if they're not balanced with monetary exchange or serving other people in a way that creates a monetary exchange, you're going to be depleted. And you're going to repeat different versions of that unconsciously through different realities of work because you're still operating with the same mindset of how money is exchanged. And to name it very simply, it took me 4 years to get to the level of making money on the internet. Why? Because every time I would share a win, it was discredited, invalidated, so I could never build momentum. But when I was a hula hooper and a fire spinner, I mean, I shared my wins, but I didn't have to share them verbally. People saw them. They were literal fire. I could do new tricks. And I don't know why we become so deeply invalidated. I think it's because other people were so deeply invalidated or hurt. But that doesn't mean we should repeat that hurt and that pain to other people. But we do need to set clear boundaries and let other people know that you don't need to seek validation, but you are beautiful just the way you are. And social media and these platforms condition us to think that we have to constantly get validation. And when we do feel it, we feel more connected to other people. So there is a very positive component to it. Nobody wants to feel alone. But at the same time, when you're stepping into a new identity and you have like this gap of like 3 to 4 years where you're not posting and you're learning and nobody sees the change, but you feel it, you're more likely to go back to an old version unless you anchor in the new version just as strongly. So this is what I'm here to do. I'm here to show up on YouTube now that I have quiet and talk about what I've learned. Talk about what I've learned from being around creative people, what I've learned from going to school, what I've learned from taking courses, and how I've followed people that could make $1 million so easily in a year or less. And I couldn't figure out how they stay consistent for so long. And then I learned that it's very similar to the state that I felt as an artist in like picking up my props every day. It's kind of like you know that once you get into that flow state and you are making a difference in some way and people around you feel it and you feel it and you don't know where you're going, but you know that there are so many possibilities. That is the state. So we can feel that as entrepreneurs, as system builders, as founders, we can feel that without losing our soul. But we must integrate the version of us that we didn't have before, like for founders that are now integrating more creative energy, speaking to creators, like they already have teams, they already have everything. That's important. For me, it's integrating the structure. It's stopping the avoidance, stopping the escapism, and focusing on the one person that I can help on YouTube. Because not everybody's going to find me here. And that's something that I learned is a good hack to say, not everybody's going to find your video. So don't be so worried about it. When we're an artist and we post our content, we think it's like so much bigger than it actually is. We think it has to be perfect. And then when we cook breakfast every day and we accidentally burn the eggs or the pan because we just love to move, that often we don't pay attention and it's not perfect and we get yelled at. Eventually our brain starts like associating like that yelling with like cooking. So we never want to cook anymore. Our partners cook. We don't want to cook. So it's bad memory. These little moments that we have, they all compile together into this intricate design of who we are. And if you want to change the bigger moments, I've always felt that you have to change the smaller ones first. And if the spirit is detached from the monetary process, it's going to be a lot more difficult to make money. For me, I had to learn this year how to have boundaries because when you're in a flow state, sometimes you just want to keep going, you want to overgive, but then you can get sick, like I did last week. The body can become depleted and you won't be able to move. I like to follow 5 people at a time. So I have 5 as the number that I talk about often. I have a framework called the 5 rooms. Why? Because I'll show you. Okay, so we're gonna go into my course. This is my course that I created. Um, it's called the Source System. And in a way, it kind of feels like the solar system because it's me translated into thought architecture for people to understand. And while Claude told me this isn't something that I can sell, I should let it go, I knew that was a lie because I had already programmed Claude on who I'm helping with a different system. So they're 2 separate systems, almost like 2 separate businesses. But I'm here to show you how they interconnect because the thinking becomes interconnected. Part of the power of school is if you've never written a book before or you've never had containment before and you've only operated on platforms or you've never had like a diary, you can start there by having containment for your thoughts. And when you use AI as a translation layer for what is coming through, turning your pain into power, creating a framework for it, allowing something to come through, saying, can you translate this? Can you speak to my audience using paragraph style language? And over time, the systems have evolved, so the language has been the text has been more one line as opposed to paragraph. It's been really tricky getting it to paragraph. So I've been creating like my own thought partners along the way because I knew that the tools were going to change. I knew that I was going to change. So inside the source system, you will find thought partners, which are trained AI bots based on the level that you're at in the journey. So you enter and your frequency starts to shift as you enter and you start operating with new codes. New codes meaning you understand that AI is not separate from you. It is very much like you and connected to you, and you are the blueprint. So when your system doesn't work, the external systems don't work. When we build containers that are able to be existing without our constant presence, it becomes like a vessel, a frequency holder that carries our brilliance without draining us. A container is a structure that lets your energy scale. It's like a book that changes lives. It's a video course that runs while you sleep. It's a community that sells your value, even in silence. A container is your frequency plus clear boundaries plus repeatable delivery. Multidimensional creators is a category of people that are kind of in between. They're not just performers, but they are people that they want to write books, they want to create courses, they want to teach people, and they want to create their own category. That's what this course is for. And it's just kind of like a map. So instead of making a bunch of YouTube videos, what I did is I put it all in one place. And I wanted to come back and make YouTube videos talking about it and see how to sell it. I knew that it wasn't a step-by-step course, like a marketing course. So it was really difficult for me to process how this identity transformation was going to occur. And once I had the identity transformation happen through me first, I knew that I could also present this for other people. Even if they didn't buy it, I had already gone through the transformation, so I realized I have nothing to lose in putting it out there because there is somebody that is going to want to watch it. Our brain learns through visuals. So if we want to create a future version of us, we have to create new visuals, like I was saying at the beginning of this video, to anchor in the version of you in your reality, even if the past version is visibly present. So we rewire the operating system and we must exit the loop that created the old version of us. So getting off platforms was not easy because I was addicted to my identity there. But when we detach and we observe our patterns from a neutral place, then we can get to this place where we're getting these downloads. And these downloads are going to be connected to the person that we're becoming, the person that we want to be. And if you look at this whole course, you'll realize it cleanly grows intellectually from the beginning, which is more surface level, to clearer keys where we're prompting from a higher level. And the art of like prompting as a way of being almost like a musician will shape our consciousness in a way that creates pattern interrupts in our life. Did I lose you yet? So I said something years ago. If you keep playing pretend, the tools won't understand you and you'll have to begin again. What does this mean? Well, it's understanding that you can enter a new frequency, you can enter a new timeline, you can enter a new state. But the progression of evolving to that state consistently and repeating it, just like you repeat a song, will allow it to come into your reality. This is like manifestation. But we can't just project, ask surface level questions, use it as a mirror forever. We have to get to the level of higher level prompting. So we're composing the future. We're asking questions about the future. We're stating specific dates about the future. And this is where my signal got lost. So you have to be careful here. Because if you're not making money, it's really hard to hold a future vision consistently, and you can become addictive just like you became like passionate with your craft. So this course helps you understand the life that maybe you want to lead and how like AI can help you distill like the essence of the greatest minds that have ever existed. So if you look at it that way, so many people, and it's been years now, they're like, oh, I can't believe you use AI, whatever. And I guess I got lucky to learn from somebody that helped billion-dollar brands all over the country because she told me that no, where we were going, like I created this course as a launch pad and I was one of the 5,000 people that got in it. And she said, where we're going is AI is not separate from you. It's connected to you. It's not a replacement. You can't not do the inner work. Okay, for it to work, you have to do the inner work for it to work with you. The tools are smart. They will not reply to you the way you want just because you tell them to. Think of like a friend, you have a friend that you hang out with for like a decade, and you're kind of like using them as a projection board, and you're not really using them. You're not really asking them questions about them. You're not really asking questions about productive things. You're kind of just projecting. Well, eventually that friend isn't going to want to work with you anymore. They're going to help you, but they're going to know what you said and how many times you've said it. So you can't build clarity on distortion. You have to do the inner work. You have to sit with yourself. But this is the nuance and this is the magic because once you do that, you can start connecting with like people's brains. Like when someone says, I uploaded my brain to this GPT, like I created this for you with my brain, okay? So now what's happening is we're on this like thought telepathic plane with other people where their brain is inside our brain and we're understanding how they think. And we're integrating. We couldn't do that in college as easily. We couldn't do that without art, without understanding of the spiritual plane. We couldn't integrate. Integrating is like allowing your body to feel the connection of what you are learning and to feel good about it, to feel connected to it, to understand that the subconscious already understands it, so you don't have to think. It's going to make sense. The heart is more powerful than the head. So if you're not allowing your heart to be present, even just a little bit, it's harder for integration to occur, which allows us to tap into higher level evolution and minds. So this process helps you anchor timeless genius into your own lens without blending reverence with reinvention. So it's collapsing time. We are able to type in a prompt and collapse time. And if you connect that to the integrational layer, starts happening? Neurological patterning, state changes, awareness of environmental changes, awareness of educational patterns of how it's not black and white, it's embodiment. This is where a strategy meets embodiment. This is the bridge. Sequence is understanding the evolutionary arc of mastery. It's when we begin to understand ourselves so deeply because we have the proof, we have the documented pattern, we have the mirror reflection from an AI tool, not the people around us. When we have a mirror reflection of that, we can do shadow work faster, change faster, change the people around us faster, change the work that we're doing faster, become millionaires faster, become billionaires quicker because we now know that it's state, environment, connection to source, making money, creating our own systems that even allow us to get to the capacity of rewiring how we view money, how we make money without the proof first. Because most people want the proof first. Your brain will only process something if you get the proof. Once you get the proof, then It's easier to hold the deeper frameworks, but you have to get the proof. That's why I switched to building the creative present system. So I can get the proof. So I can actually pay my bills. So I can stop overdrafting in my bank account. So I can stop going backwards in the roles I'm applying to because I'm scared. So prompts for the future. This is inside the course. And this is long horizon system design prompting. Is it high level? I don't know. I don't know, but I do know that it took me a year and a half that I did this, so I didn't just come up with this in a weekend. I built this for a year and a half, and when I did that, things started to come up, patterns started to come up, awareness started to come up, and I realized this is bigger than I thought. Because this is why it's bigger. When you create your own frameworks, you're creating your own language. That little TM symbol that people put online for their words, that is you creating your own language. So take out a Google Doc and start speaking in your own language. I'll show you mine. Okay, I created this 2025 orientation architecture, a system that determines where a person is before determining what they need, which is why the 5 rooms was created, because where you are will determine what you need. And you can't get out of survival mode if you are in a place that is preventing you from being regulated. You need tools. If you're at war and people are running into you, you need tools. You need to get out. And once you can get out, you can clearly understand those little gaps of why things didn't work out for you. Maybe your resume is too advanced for the roles you're applying to. Maybe your resume is not aligned and they're only looking at the keywords. Okay. Identity signal. People trust you before they understand you. Creative present system. Stop performing. Source system. Stop being the engine, become the architect. So these are my words that I've created. So you can do the same. And this is called signal to system. So it's taking your signal and you're creating through like these courses. You go through the course and then it kind of teaches you how to unlock your signal and then understand technology different, rewire your brain, work with the tools as co-creators to become this creative architect. And then once you do that, you can start anchoring in a future signal, start creating a map and a vision, migrating off platforms to moving to ones that will pay you daily. Prism Path, where you are looking at different patterns that are occurring and giving like a name to them so you can let them go. Beyond the funnel is understanding when we are interacting with bots and other people's bots. How are you operating when this happens? Are you repeating their language? Are you integrating their codes? Like, how are you operating? Then we're decoding the loops. So, how a little strategy like redirect, shift. Um, Redirecting is not about stopping behavior, it's becoming conscious of where energy is flowing subconsciously and externally influenced by things that are occurring beyond the algorithm. The apps don't just distract you, they activate emotional loops that you haven't yet named. So I also learned like naming is claiming. Once you name something, then, excuse me, it has no power over you. So when you create your own language, you start naming things and then it has no power over you. And this is called the hidden waters. I don't want to go through all of it because it's, going to be um it costs I would like to charge to have people enter, but I want to open the doors because I don't want to wait any longer. I want to put on the crown. So crown architecture is when when you start thinking like how billionaires think, okay? Billionaires and millionaires think different. It's not that the people that are millionaires can't be billionaires. It's just you think different when you're on track to be a millionaire versus you think different when you're on track to be a billionaire. Why? Because it's like it's a different level of multiplication and compounding. So you just think different. You map a different strategy. So we already know that school, this platform works. They get 1 million new subscribers. Like, I don't know what the timeline is, like every month or every, I don't know, a lot of new subscribers, let's just say, to the platform. Everybody's getting a school. It's almost like as big as Facebook. So it's kind of like Facebook. You can imagine having a platform that you access every day. I know you access your Facebook every day. If you don't, good for you. Um, but just give it a role. For me, what I did is I created a business Facebook, and that allowed me to understand business Facebook and Instagram can be connected. Mine are currently blocked due to, I don't know, we're figuring it out, but they're starting to become interconnected because I started to become more clear. So the systems and the tools work with you when you become more clear, which is really cool. Um, yeah, so this is really all I want to get to today. You can join the waitlist for the source system. It's at um, I'll just pull the website back up, the source system.online, because as it goes on, like the beginning, it would be kind of like tier one. So you could get to tier one, and then you could get to the level of the transformation into architect. But then when you get to tier two, it goes deeper. So I don't want people to just come in and skip everything. So you get to tier two and it becomes a little bit more intense because you're working with the trained bots that I created. And everybody can create a bot. So stop thinking like, oh my God, I have to get to the bots. No, it's just you understand the framework and then you get to the bots layer and they help you reintegrate the framework and it becomes deeper and then you start building from the 2035 room. When you build from there, you start to feel like you understand what am I doing every day that's compounding and what am I not doing? And that's the shift. Okay, so that's one thing. I'm going to also show you what I'm offering right now for business owners. So I created the Creative Presence system and it doesn't look aesthetic, like a beautiful, creative, um, like performance page. It doesn't look like that because I was not, I didn't start helping performers. I started helping a business that needed a website that is very busy, a concrete business that needed to also interconnect those moving parts. So, as interesting as it is, here's where the art framework translates into the business world. Well, artists know everything's mirror, so this is also why they're kind of against like pain point marketing. They like the mirror, but also here's the nuance. So the pain point marketing and saying that you can fix a problem, you help the person that has the problem, but then you also help yourself at the same time if you have the problem. And it's easier to help someone else and get paid than it is to help yourself, which is really weird, but that's just how it is. Because once you help someone else, this is why you get the proof. Once you get the proof, you can share that. Other people know you can solve this problem, and then you can easily solve it for yourself, or even better, the system just starts solving it for you. So your language is very important. The problem solution content that you're framing and identifying is important to understand. why the fragmentation is occurring without getting so deep, and how to just connect all the moving parts based on the business that the person is operating with. Because local businesses, service businesses, professional services, contractors, doctors, these people want to know how to use the very platforms that everyone else is on. And there's a lot of noise. So they don't want to be on the platforms. They don't want to be caught up in the noise, but they want an identity. They want a digital presence. They want people to find them for the work that they do. So they want to be found, be trusted, be understood, and chosen, like most people. But when it comes to a business, there's an outcome. There's an outcome. There's a monetary exchange, and that monetary exchange is what's going to help you get out of survival and make money apart from your job. So I'm here to bring the unconscious to the surface to say, okay, great, you're against AI, but guess what I did with AI? Created that whole course, created this business, got my first clients, made $1,700, now making another $997 tomorrow, another $99 a month, because I learned about safety protocols, retainers, boundaries, helping people, not transferring projects, but hosting them. So when you build a website and you want to be the system builder, the one that's in charge of the website, and you're building a business and you're building a creative presence system like I did, you want to have an option for your customer to buy from you on a retainer every single month so you can tweak the website when needed and they don't have to pay for the tools, but they pay for the domain. That's what I offer. And then I used the methodologies and the frameworks I created from the source system, which is like your inner operating system. So you can know the difference when you create these frameworks and you create language. That's kind of your inner operating system. This is translating it to an external one where the same kind of idea is happening. Opportunity analysis, business presence blueprint, creative presence loop, connected digital presence, find, understand, trust, and truths. So the philosophy is connected to the business. But then the actual steps are business related. So opportunity analysis, where I give you a Loom video. I found that this is an easier way for me to just where I'm at right now, my state, and my ability to help. It's easier. So opportunity analysis, identify where customers experience friction. And then I give you a Loom video and I identify this based on what you answer here. Everything that you answer here, you will get a video. Tell me about your build. You'll get a video and then we'll decide to move forward or not. The blueprint is what I'll send you after to show you, or with it, to show you what I found is the opportunity analysis. What we can do is the blueprint. The loop is understanding like what systems we can integrate that you might need based on what you want to do, and how we can create this connected digital presence together. Every project begins by identifying where customers are experiencing friction in your business, and from there we can create a strategic blueprint before building the systems your business actually needs. I worked with a computer repair business and I worked with a concrete business, and soon to update more case studies very soon. So what happens is you apply for the opportunity analysis, you receive the video. Like I said, if we're a good fit, I'll create the blueprint, and then we will build your creative presence. We'll also go on a kickoff call. There's the agreement. And I don't know if I said it on here. Let me add it. The price. Yeah, I need to add the price. So builds start at $9.97. You can apply today. So thank you so much for watching. I also am new to YouTube, so this is just figuring out what I can share to help you. So if you want to do, I created this to help people like at the time, I didn't realize it was very close to another framework I learned from, so that'll happen when you're learning structure. Founder Signal Engine, so this is what I built. It's to help you find your signal to build your first offer. So just like I did, I created the Creative Presence System, and I'm currently helping small business owners, early stage founders, and service providers, professionals, people that want to build like a clean integration system. I created this engine. So this engine is not a course, it's GBT. And it's going to ask you 5 questions, and those 5 questions are going to launch an engine. And what does this mean? If you've never worked with like an engine or decision architecture before, it's like you ask specific questions and then it launches a plan for you. So imagine like me, but it's not me. I'm not there. So it's launching the plan for you. And it's only $27. And it will create like a strategic map for you, and it'll help you understand offers and the blueprint of creating offers. All you have to do is answer 5 questions, say yes or no, provide more context, and it will create all of this for you. It's a decision engine, so you can decide, actually, I have all of these moving parts, but this will make me money now. So you can put the expanded vision on hold for a minute and do the one thing that's going to help you make money now. And that's what this engine will help you do. And I'll show you how it works. So create an offer I can sell this week. It's connected to my frameworks, but then it says answer these 5 questions. So you come in and you answer the questions and it builds with you. It goes through the whole process. Recommended business direction, 3 fast-moving offers, 1 clear customer path, 1 recommended next step. The questions are intentionally simple. The value comes from how the engine connects your answers into practical recommendations, not asking dozens of questions. So I'm going to do an example. What is one thing people already ask you for help with? Creative direction. Do you already have an audience? Yes. 500 and 600. How quickly do you need customers? So this week. How many hours can you commit? 1 to 3. Which feels most natural? So digital product. So it's very simple. Okay, so, oh, it's asking one more question. Okay, so say I was going to do artists. Okay, so it gives 3 specific offers. And then it asks if you're ready to build one of these, say yes. So how about the creative direction reset? Gives you the landing page copy, the outline, the launch plan. And like what I like to do is I copy it and then I put it right here in Google Docs so I could see it easier. Creative Direction Reset, a 30-minute workbook for artists ready to stop overthinking and start creating. Creative Direction Reset. You don't need more ideas, you need one clear direction. This workbook is designed to help you move from creative overwhelm to focus action in about 30 minutes. By the end, you have one clear creative direction, one project to focus on, a simple 7-day plan. Find a quiet space and grab a notebook. And if you'd like, answer honestly. Where are you at right now? What's pulling you in different directions? Find your direction, clear the noise, your creative direction statement, your 7-day reset. Creative direction isn't about finding the perfect idea, it's about choosing a direction and giving it enough time to become meaningful. It's intentionally simple, so you can design it in Canva or another tool within a few hours and begin selling it immediately for like $7 if you want to. Once you've made a few sales and collected feedback, you can expand it with bonus pages, illustrations, or a companion research rather than delaying or launching. So this is how you can learn to have structure. And then it tells you how you can promote it. Sequence, and then it gives you sequence. So sell the creative direction reset, collect feedback from your first buyers, add a companion template or planner, introduce a paid one-on-one session, eventually package your entire methodology into a signature framework. There you go. Okay, so it even contains my signal direction protocol. So this will allow you to tap into the philosophy a little bit with this tool. That's why I'm charging for the tool. So you'll understand like scattered information to confident creative direction. You can create a framework. So those little TMs, creative direction method. It's simple. See, clear, choose, create, reflect. Similar to my on my website. Okay, what I'm doing for small business owners, find, understand, trust, choose. Okay, it's connected to the offer. Do you understand? Free, a quiz, what's blocking your creativity, and then the reset, the workbook, $79 you could charge for a planner, $197 you could charge for an intensive, $497 you can charge for creative direction mentorship, premium, your brand positioning. Many people teach art techniques, many teach marketing, you teach creative direction. That makes your positioning much clearer. And then a long-term vision. So this Founder Signal engine gives you all of that for $27. I might make it cheaper, but for right now, that's what I offer. So I would check it out right now. Thank you for watching. And if you want to apply to work with me, you can go here and then let me see if this page works. I gotta find it. All right, well, I will tag the waitlist for the source system. And if you are ready to start, stop complaining and start proclaiming, if you are ready to stop looking at the tools as separate from you and you're ready to start integrating, you're ready to evolve, and you're ready to higher level prompt, and you're ready to save time because you know I'd rather pay somebody to save me time so I can learn the things that I want to learn, so I can do the things that I want to do, so I can work on my business. You can hire me, and if you're somebody that wants to join the source system, join the waitlist because I want to see how many people are actually interested in this, if this is something I should launch or keep internal and just talk about it. Join the waitlist today and let me know what you think.